after that Vitor Belfort fight. Tim Boetsch, though, is coming off of a big victory over CB Dalloway. The CB Dalloway has looked sensational in his career lately, especially his last fight against Cesar Mutante. One of the best fights I've seen from Dalloway in his career, shows real improvement. So the fact that Boetsch was able to get past him means a lot, because Tim Boetsch, at his best, is one of the toughest guys in the division. He's a hard-nosed animal that keeps coming forward, and he's not done if he has anything left in his body. You saw that, especially in the Yushin Okami fight. A lot of guys would have checked out of that fight and lost the decision, but Boetsch came into that third round way behind on the scorecards, bit down on his mouthpiece, and took Okami out. And that's what he brings to every fight.
Yeah, Joe, and what you called one of the greatest comebacks, or at that point, maybe the greatest comeback we had seen inside the octagon.
It was spectacular. I couldn't even sit down. I was jumping up in my seat from the end of it. Boetsch is an animal. I love watching this guy fight. And I think him versus Luke Rockhold has all the ingredients of a spectacular contest.
He has been in isolation with Matt Hume in Kirkland, Washington in preparation for tonight. The last Strikeforce middleweight champion, Luke Rockhold. He was 9-0 in Strikeforce. He opened his Strikeforce career with his. He has the most total finishes in Strikeforce history with 7. He's tied with Kung Lee, and he trains at AKA with the aforementioned animal Daniel Cormier, the heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, and others.
He really is an excellent fighter, and he's got some victories over excellent fighters like Jacare, Keith Jardine. He beat Tim Kennedy. And I was really, truly impressed with him in the Costa Philippou fight, because what we saw is a determined, ferocious Luke Rockhold who rebounded from the loss to Vitor Belfort with a vengeance. He's been calling out Belfort ever since. Very, very upset about that fight, and feels like he made a mistake that he'll never make again. The bottom line is the fight's over, and a real champion learns from their mistakes and grows from them. And I think a loss like that just stokes the fires of a guy like Luke Rockhold. And that is what we saw in the Costa Philippou fight. We saw an ultra-aggressive, determined Luke Rockhold who really put a beating on Costa Philippou, who was an excellent striker.
He used the liver kick to break down Costas Philippou. He loves the liver shots. He says, I like to watch my opponents crumble and quiver. He also talked about his best friend in the gym, the two-time Olympian, DC Daniel Cormier. He says, DC always tries to bully me. Rockhold will look to bully Tim Boetsch tonight, and that is not an easy task. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight fight: Rockhold 29, Boetsch 33. Luke Rockhold 3 inches taller. He will have a 2-inch reach advantage. And once again, Bruce Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record, 17 wins, 6 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania, Tim the Barbarian Boetsch. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 11 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 185 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Santa Cruz, California, presenting the former Strikeforce middleweight champion, Luke Rockhold. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee, for this fight at 185. Luke Rockhold, the southpaw, against Tim the Barbarian Boetsch.
First round, you ready? Are you ready? Let's go, come on.
Here we go. Blue trunks for Rockhold, black and red trunks for Boetsch. Look for body shots, as I mentioned, from Luke Rockhold. Boetsch looking for the takedown.
Wow, beautiful scramble there. Rockhold on top. Boetsch holding onto that single. Rockhold may get a triangle from the bottom. Oh, and this is early in the fight. This is a bad spot for Tim Boetsch. No sweat. Everyone's dry. There's a lot of friction. And he's got it locked up. What he wants to do is grab the leg. And controlling the leg, he can get leverage while he's doing this. Tim Boetsch hanging in there, trying to use his shoulders to give himself some space, because Luke Rockhold has that triangle locked up on his neck.
Tim trying to fight through it for now. Rockhold throwing some strikes, trying to soften him up.
Now that they're on the ground, what Boetsch wants to do is stay in this sort of a position. The more he can stay turtled up like that, the more he can apply pressure to try to give himself a little bit of space. And as he's standing up here, and Rockhold has to decide whether or not to continue squeezing and possibly gassing out his legs, or they want to let it go. Now Rockhold's going to try to grab a hold of the arm. That right arm of Tim Boetsch might be in jeopardy here. Man. If Rockhold pulls it behind his back, he can catch a Kimura from here as well. And he's looking for that.
A lot of pressure. Luke Rockhold, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, now he's going for the double wrist lock position. He's going to pop it up and stick it behind the back of Boetsch. Boetsch recognizes that, so he goes to his back, but Rockhold's going to take it.
Boetsch is in all kinds of trouble.
He let go of the triangle for a minute and went to a scissors, but decided to go right back to the triangle. But as long as Boetsch's body is on the mat, he's not in as much trouble. Now he's in much more trouble because Rockhold's got it.
He's ready to tap it. It's all over.
That's it.
Luke Rockhold submits Tim Boetsch.
Big victory for Luke Rockhold.
Wow, just like that. And you could see he was ready to tap, and then Rockhold got that last bit that he needed, Joe.
Well, there was a lot of adjustment going on there. Rockhold had to decide whether he would try to give him a little space and sneak it behind his back, whether he was going to try to go for the straight arm bar. But ultimately, he always had that triangle locked up as well. Boetsch was just in a bad position from the get-go.
So the man with the most finishes in Strikeforce history gets his second straight finish in the octagon.
And that was a really technical scramble there, too. You see, as Boetsch is holding on to the single, Rockhold locks up this triangle, and from there, Boetsch was just surviving. Just in a lot of trouble there. And then ultimately, Rockhold worked it to the point where he got a hold of the right arm of Boetsch and then torqued it behind him, and Boetsch is in all sorts of pain there, forced to tap.
Great win for Luke Rockhold here tonight in Baltimore. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mario Yamasaki has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 8 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to a Kimura, Luke Rockhold.
His 10th first round finish. Here is Joe.
Well, you got it, man. Listen, Luke Rockhold, you're on a tear, man. The Costa Philippou fight and then this one. That was a beautiful scramble. As soon as he went for that single, you locked up that triangle and then immediately worked to get to a better position. Give me your thoughts when he grabbed a hold of your leg. What were you thinking and how to do it from there?
That reverse triangle, that's my bread and butter. Anybody who knows my jiu-jitsu game, I come from different angles, and so that's like, you know, second nature to me. I always go for the Kimura finish. He's got to get the right angle. He did well. He was tough to get in the right position. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, he flattened his back out to try to protect that arm, but ultimately you were able to get to this position and get that tap. Another big victory for you. What's next? What do you want next?
Yeah, I hope Tim's arm's okay. You know, a tough guy. Thank you. Give me the fight. Obviously, you know, I want to get back. I want to get a title shot. But I want to earn it. I don't want anything given to me. And I think the best way to do that is through Vitor Belfort. So, if the UFC would grant me